Welcome one and all to my 2026 Football Kit World Cup. For this series, I'm going to be pitting every single World Cup kit up against each other to see truly which one is the best designed kit of this year's tournament. This will be running from today until the day before kickoff on June 11th. The kits will be ranked on 3 criteria: color usage, cultural cues, and depth and texture. For each category, they can receive 3 points. Both the home and the away kits for each country will be used. Let's get started with Group A. First up, Mexico. For color usage, I'm going to be giving the Mexican home kit a 3. Iconic colors that are representative of the Mexican flag. For cultural cues, there is Aztec and native imagery that they employ. That for me is a 3. For depth and texture, that same Aztec imagery I feel is slightly just kind of slapped on there. So for that, I'm gonna just give it a 2. For the away kit, color usage is fantastic, a 3. The cultural cues aren't really showing, and for depth and texture, it's the same thing. The cultural pattern is there, but it's super hard to pick out. I'm gonna give it another 1. That means that with both points from both kits, Mexico comes out with 13 points. On to South Africa. The color usage, again for South Africa, a 3. The yellow and green, iconic colors that they have used for their entire history of national kits. The cultural cues are there. The pattern represents South Africa's linguistic diversity. I'm gonna give it a 2. For depth and texture, I feel that the texturing is amazing. I'm gonna give that a 3. The away kit I feel is the better of the 2. The color usage is amazing. That's a 3 for me. Again, it runs off the same pattern for the cultural heritage. I'm going to give that still a 2. But the pattern work is still fantastic. That's a 3 for me. Meaning that South Africa walks away with 16 points in my book. Next, we move on to South Korea. It's a nice color and there's different tones of red present. Not overly crazy though. I'm gonna give it a 2. The cultural cues are a little harder to tell. The pattern work is supposed to represent the rugged mountainscape of South Korea. Not the strongest presentation. I'm gonna give it a 1. And then lastly, for the depth and texture, I feel that the same pattern work that somewhat fails culturally, I think is pretty decently strong texture-wise. So I'm gonna give it a 2. Then for the away kit, the color usage is fantastic. I'm gonna give it a 2. The cultural cues aren't really present in the away kit though, so that unfortunately for me is a 0. Lastly, the texture looks great. It's very floral texture. I'm gonna give it a 3. That means that South Korea walks away with 10 points total. Last but not least is the Czech Republic. The Czech home kit is a dark red with some dark blue accents as well as some white piping. I'm gonna give it a 2. Not a lot of cultural cues in the home kit though, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to give it a 0. As for the depth and texture, there is very minimal amount, but not a bunch. That's a 1 for me. The away kit is much better though, in my opinion. The off-white and old gold is fantastic color choices. That's a 3 for me. The crystalline texture is supposed to be representative of the Czech Republic's history of glass making. For me, that's a 2. Lastly, that same texture work is very different. I'm gonna give that a 3. That means that the Czech Republic walks away with 11 points. These are the results from Group A. Congratulations to the winners. Sorry to the country that was eliminated. See you guys tomorrow for Group B.